This is Mr. Rahman with Handful Players. Every rapper should know their 3 R's: reading, rhyming, and Rhythmatics.
This is a handy little exercise that will help you learn all the different flow patterns that you use as a rapper or an MC. We're going to start with what you call basic rhythmic notation. Now, notes in music, when we're talking rhythm, are really just like math. You have your whole note, which is your slowest note, and as you divide that whole note into smaller and smaller pieces, you get faster and faster notes. So from a whole note, you can divide that into 2 equal pieces called a half note. You can divide the half note into 2 equal pieces called a quarter note. Now we're going to start with the quarter note because it's as easy as counting 1, 2, 3, 4. And in rap, that's exactly how you count a bar. So the quarter note is counted as follows: 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty simple. But as we divide that quarter note into smaller and smaller notes, the way that we count it in music is going to get a little trickier. We take a quarter note, we divide that in half to 2 equal notes, and we get an eighth note. We count the eighth note by adding the word "and" in between each number. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now if you take a quarter note and you divide it into 3 equal notes, in music that's called a triplet. We count the triplet: 1 is a, 2 is a, 3 is a, 4 is a. An easy way to remember what that sounds like is to say the name of the note, triplet, like this: triplet, 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 triplet. 1 is a, 2 is a, 3 is a, 4 is a. Now listen to the difference, because some people think that the triplet can be counted like this: 1 is a, 2 is a, 3 is a, 4 is a. But that would be incorrect. Listen to the difference. 1 is a, 2 is a, 3 is a, 4 is a. 1 is a, 2 is a, 3 is a, 4 is a. The second example is your triplet note. The next note that you have is an eighth note divided into 2 equal notes. This one's called the 16th note, and it's counted like this: 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Kind of like the rhythm of a choo-choo train. Choo-choo-choo. After the 16th note, the next one is called a triplet 16th note. It can be counted this way: 1 is a, 1 is a, 2 is a, 2 is a, 3 is a, 3 is a, 4 is a, 4 is a. So now we're picking up in tempo, and this one has kind of a cool type of flow to it. Sounds really good when you put words on it. The final note is twice as fast as the 16th note, and this is what a lot of rappers call chopping or rap god level. 1 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 4 E and a. There's an exercise called the Gauntlet that takes you through quarter note, eighth note, triplet, 16th note, triplet 16th note, and 32nd note, and then takes you backwards till you get back to the quarter note. Let's say it together. Starting with the quarter note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 is a, 2 is a, 3 is a, 4 is a. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. 1 is a, 1 is a, 2 is a, 2 is a, 3 is a, 3 is a, 4 is a, 4 is a. 1 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 4 E and a. 1 is a, 1 is a, 2 is a, 2 is a, 3 is a, 3 is a, 4 is a, 4 is a. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. 1 is a, 2 is a, 3 is a, 4 is a. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that is a great exercise to teach your brain how to switch up its cadence. It's also a great exercise for learning how to freestyle. If you want to learn how to freestyle, the best approach is treating it like any other instrument. When you pick up a guitar, do you expect to shred the first day? No. It takes practice. You have to learn technique, you have to learn timing, and the same thing is true when you're learning how to freestyle. You want to get used to speaking your syllables on the beat, and you have to get used to keeping your train of thought going as you're speaking on the beat. What a lot of people do is they try to just jump in and start rapping as fast as everybody else. And what happens is a lot of times if you haven't trained, you draw blanks. Your train of thought stops. You start trying to think of a rhyme and no rhyme comes. And so then you get frustrated and then you get discouraged and then you stop. Well, there's another approach that works a lot better. It worked for me and hopefully it can work for you too. I call it reed styling. Reed styling is just one step below freestyling. It's when you're focusing on speaking in rhythm, but you don't actually have to think of anything to say because you're reading. And you can do this with anything. A book, a magazine, a sign on the wall, anything. Journal entry, something you've written, something somebody else has written. You can even just say the letters of words to the beat. But you want to start with level 1, which is our quarter note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, you could try the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now for most people, that's not going to be too hard. But there is a key that you have to remember whenever you're practicing speaking to a rhythm slowly. And that is every syllable gets its own note. Let me say that again. Every syllable gets its own note. Now that can feel tedious, but your brain needs to practice breaking up words into syllable sounds before you start speeding up. So, if we're doing the alphabet and we're practicing using that with our rhythm, there's one letter in the alphabet that has more than one syllable. Can you guess? W. So, the W, we have to remember not to say W, but W. So, I'm going to say the alphabet at level 2, which is the 8th note pace. And you'll hear, when I get to that W, how I lengthen it out so every syllable gets a note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Hear that? Also gives it a cool little flow and allows us, when we're ready, to take it up a notch to twice as fast. Here's the alphabet at a 16th note pace. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. 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 All right. So, that's a lot of fun to say. There is an even faster way to say it, which is twice as fast as the 16th note. If you're up for the challenge, you can try this. 1 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 4 E and a A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. That is a 30-second note. That is very challenging, but I've had students practice, take the time, build themselves up from slow to fast, and get it down pretty good.